I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Alright, so the Spirit tonight has me in Ezekiel. I'm going to go in on the Lord's prophets. Ezekiel 37, I'm going to start out at 15. And this is right after he breathes life into us, right? Gives us this understanding, this knowledge. So, starting at 15, let me read it. It says, "The word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it, for Judah and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick, and write it upon for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions." Alright, so the Judah is representing the, this verse right here is representing the 12 tribes chart. You see, we have the 12 tribe chart when we go out there and teach. All the camps should have a 12 tribes chart, you know, because this is how we gather the tribes of Israel, right? We show them who they are on the chart. Elder Gabar has spoken on this. I mean, all the elders have spoken on this, but you know, I remember saying Elder Apostle Gabar. I remember him saying, you know, this is an important thing. That's why it's so important for us to have the 12 tribes chart out, you know, because it shows our people who they are, and this is how we gather the nation of Israel with that chart. Right, it says one stick for Judah and one stick for Ephraim. Judah represents the southern kingdom, and then Ephraim collectively is the northern kingdom, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and then you have the northern kingdom, which would be Ephraim, Reuben, Simeon, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun. The other tribes of Israel, the northern kingdom. So we read, continuing on in 17, it says, "And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand." So this is the prophecy, you know, this is Ezekiel 37 and 17 is showing that this is the prophecy for those sticks being joined together and becoming one in our hand. We have the stick would be a representation for the chart, and all the tribes are on the chart. And we can lift them up, and they become one in our hand, and we teach the children of Israel who they are, right? Excuse me, Salakia. I think I'm coming down with something, or I'm getting over something. I'm right in the middle. But anyway, you know, verse 18. "And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?" So that's what happens when we have that chart out, you know. Sometimes people are like, you know, what does this mean? What does this chart mean? Or they ask, you know, we ask them, you know, what is your nationality? What is your father? And they'll tell us, oh, I'm Mexican. Oh, well, you're Issachar on the chart. You're a tribe of Issachar. Or you ask them, well, what's your father's nationality? Oh, my father's a black man. Oh, well, you're Judah. You see, and we show them what the sign means, what the chart means. It says, say unto them, thus saith Yahawah the power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. All right, so that's what happens. That, like I said, that all 12 tribes are on that chart. Verse 20, it says, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Right, so it's right before their eyes. It's right before the sons of Israel's eyes when we're out on those street corners. Right? We gather the nation of Israel, showing them who they are, teaching them, showing them, teaching them the laws, statutes, commandments, whatever question they have about the scriptures, about the Bible, we're there to answer, right? That's the point of the camps. And it's be more specifically, it's going to be for the elect, because the elect are the ones who are going to be that'll receive the truth, they'll receive the teachings, they'll receive the knowledge. The 2/3, they'll be rejecting it, and they don't agree with the message, right? Ezekiel 37:21, it says, and say unto them, thus saith Yahawah the Most High, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. So like I said earlier, this chart is necessary for the camps. All camps should have a 12 tribes chart, because this is a big part of the gathering of our people, right? And right now it's a spiritual gathering, but there's going to be a physical gathering, right? In Matthew, right now we spiritually gathering our people, but there's going to be a physical gathering eventually, right? It says in Matthew 24:31, Yahawah speaking, it says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, and from one end of heaven to the other. You see? So like I said, even the 12 tribes chart, it's only going to gather the elect. But in the physical gathering, obviously it's only the elect that'll be gathered, that'll be taken up. That'll be what you call abducted by the so-called UFOs, the chariots that are going to, they're going to be an instrument of salvation when Yahawah Bashim, Yahushai, gathers the elect. And when Yahawah, says, gather mine elect, right? He's going to say that in Hebrew. And that's when the Yahushai and the chariots are going to gather the elect. So we go back to Ezekiel 37:22. It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, which is Yahushai. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Right, because even now, the spiritual gathering, we're not two kingdoms anymore. We have our brothers from the southern kingdom, and then our brothers from the northern kingdom. And when we're out there, we tell you we're one nation. We're not two kingdoms anymore, because remember, the kingdom was divided after Solomon. Right, after Solomon died, the kingdom was divided, which that was prophecy also, that the kingdom would be divided. And it was after Solomon's, committed sin by building altars to other heathen gods. He was doing that for his heathen women that he was entertaining, right? So now the two kingdoms won't be divided anymore. And that's that's spiritual too, because I was watching Apostle Gabar tonight, and he was going in on a nation divided, right? It's another precept. Matthew 12:25. Yahawah said it. And Yahawah knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right? That's why you see Esau Edom's kingdom, he's about to fall. Because the elders were both, Elder Apostle Gabar and Elder Apostle Tahar, were both going in on how Babylon America is divided. And it was a politician, I can't remember the person's name, that was speaking on how this nation has never been so divided. But so like I said, I'm dealing with this cold, and that's why Babylon is about to fall, because it's a divided nation, right? You're gonna have civil war soon here on American soil. They're even coming out with the movie Civil War. It's supposed to come out in April. Look up that trailer, brother. I'm sure brothers have seen it, but there's a movie that looks really good. And like I said, they do their predictive programming, and they have a movie called Civil War that comes out in April of 2024. And if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go Google that right now and watch that trailer, because they show you what's about to happen through their predictive programming, right? This kingdom is divided, but guess what? The elect of Israel, this kingdom is being reunited, right? As in the days of old, right? When King David was, and actually also King Solomon, they ruled, when they were ruling over Israel, all the tribes were together. Let me read, let's see, Ezekiel 37. I'll read 20 again. It says, and in the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. All right, that's the chart. And say unto them, thus saith Yahawah the Most High, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. All right, and that's what's happening spiritually. But like I say, it's going to be a physical gathering. And we just read it in Matthew 24 and 31, where Yahawah said, gather mine elect. Verse 22, Ezekiel 37. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. And yeah, King David will also be there. So let me bring out this. Yahawah, he's going to be he's going to be above everybody. But of course, King David also will be there. Amos 9 and 11, it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. The church of David, right? Tabernacle means church. and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So in the days of old, when King David was ruling, Israel was one nation. The northern and southern kingdom were all one nation. So that's how he's building up this kingdom. That's why you have both southern kingdom brothers and northern kingdom brothers out at the camps. Because Yahweh is performing this right now as we speak. He's bringing that nation up as in the days of old, like we just read. Ezekiel 37:23. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. Right. So the gathering right now of the elect, guess what? We're leaving the idols behind. We're leaving Babylon behind, right? We're coming out of her, my people, like we're commanded to in Revelation, right? But eventually, when it's that physical gathering, there's not going to be no more idols. There's not going to be no more detestable things, right? Like this pagan Christian church right now and nowadays, it's a detestable thing. You don't learn the truth in those churches here in Babylon, any of them. The only church are the men who are raising up on the street corners, the ones that have the sign in their hand, right? Like we just read, that are teaching our people who they are, the gathering of Israel, the gathering of the elect. Because those same men were coming out of that madness. What we've already done came out of the madness. Now we're just patiently waiting on our Lord, Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai. Revelation 18:4, it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Right, and the plagues, this is why Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai is commanding us to come out of Babylon, come out of this wicked, mindset that Babylon has given us, right? We're being cleansed. We're being made new, being refreshed. But we're not going to, we don't want to be partakers of her sins anymore, right? We don't want to be in those false pagan churches teaching lies, teaching our people lies. We don't want to receive of her plagues. Let me see. And the plagues are going to be what? You're going to have pestilence, right? Which is like the COVID. You're going to have the plague of the RFID micro C-hip. The missiles are going to be a plague. Just like in ancient Egypt had plagues, spiritual Egypt has plagues. And the Lord's elect are not going to receive her plagues. Because why? Because we're coming out of her. And it's not physical, right? Like I said, right now it's a spiritual. We're leaving Egypt, spiritual Egypt, a spiritual exodus. But it will be a physical exodus, but that's not until Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai delivers us on the chariots. And you have, right, you have, is like Zechariah 5, I think. Yeah. Here's another plague, like I said, is the UFOs, so-called UFOs, that the elect are not gonna, it's not gonna be a plague to us. It's gonna be salvation, because the UFOs, the ones you call UFOs, which are actually chariots of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, those are, they're a double-edged sword, because they're going to be salvation for the elect, and they're going to be a plague for the 2/3 and the heathen. And here's a verse to show you. Zechariah 5:1, it says, "Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and behold, then my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll," because he saw a chariot in the sky. Verse 2, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. So when you go into that size, it's about the length is about two SUVs long, and the width of it was about one SUV long. When you go into those cubits, it says in verse 3. So it's about two SUVs and one long and one SUV wide. That's what Zechariah saw in the sky. But it looked as a roll, flying roll. And verse 3, "Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on this side according to it." You see, so in this verse it calls it a curse, which a curse and a plague, that's the same thing, right? So this is going to be one of the point I'm making, is the chariots are going to be a curse to the heathen in the 2/3, or a plague to the heathen in the 2/3. But they're going to be the salvation to the elect. We can get that account too, because I'm not in a hurry. Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. This is talking about the other side of it, right? There's going to be a plague and a curse to the 2/3 and the heathen, but it's going to be a instrument of salvation. It's going to be our deliverance, are those chariots, those so-called UFOs. All right, and actually, it's going to be one fathership that takes the elect. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. "When they see it," talking about the chariots, "they shall be troubled with terrible fear," because they're going to be scared. When the people are going to be shitting their pants when they see thousands of chariots, what you call UFOs, in the sky. They're going to think it's an alien invasion, because they believe their daddy Esau, who has deceived them. But the elect are going to be happy when we see those chariots. Because we know what they are. So let me read it again. "When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for." Right, because they're not expecting, the elect to go up in what you call UFOs, and it's going to be strange to them. "And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach." They're not going to be able to believe it. They're going to see the men who they were arguing with on the street corners going up in a chariot. They're going to be like, "This dude right here, how can he be of the elect," right? This dude that was cussing at me, he was holding a Bible, and he was saying cuss words at me, and he's going up in a chariot, and yeah, I'm getting burned with nuclear fire, right? Verse 4, "We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor." Yeah, they think that we went mad, that we went crazy, right? And a fool is a non-believer. That's what that word fool means. So these non-believers think we went crazy because of the doctrine that we bring, which is an astonishing doctrine to the common person. Verse 5, "How is he numbered among the children of God?" And I read that verbatim so it's easy for you to understand. "And his lot is among the saints." They're going to be in shock that the men of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai are his true men. And you thought we were devils, and you thought we were crazy. You thought the doctrine that we teach is crazy. You didn't believe it. Even right now, what I'm saying, people will be like, you think that the UFOs are going to take you up in a nuclear war? You see? They don't believe this. But we're reading the account right now of what's going to happen and what's going to go through their mind. That brings up Proverbs. Let me grab that real quick. Proverbs 5. It's towards maybe 10. Let's see. There's those same people that are in disbelief when we go up into the chariot. They're going to be the same ones who are saying this right here in Proverbs 5. And thou, 5:11, and thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, this is when they're getting burnt up by those nuclear missiles, and say, how have I hated instruction, right? It says, and when they flesh, let me start at the top, Salakia. And thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. They're going to be regretting not listening to the Lord's prophets, is the point here. They're going to be like, how have I hated instruction? I should have listened to my teachers, I should have listened to the ones who were trying to tell me the truth, right? But at that point, it's going to be too late, because their flesh is going to be being consumed by a fire, and it's going to be nuclear fire. All right, so I kind of went off the original subject, but I'll go back to Ezekiel. Let's get it real quick. Ezekiel 37. Where am I at? 24. It says, and David my servant shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. Yeah, because after that physical deliverance in the kingdom, everyone's going to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahawah Bashem Yahushai under Yahweh Shai and King David. And the governing body are going to be the prophets, the Lord's prophets, the 144,000. Those are going to be your kings and your governors, right? Because like in Esau's kingdom, he has his order of rankings. Same thing in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's kingdom. There's going to be order in the kingdom. And verse 25. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. See that? It's going to be eternal. The Israelites are going to be eternal in the kingdom. The heathen are going to live much longer, but the heathen will still die. That's because, this is Israel are the God's chosen people. So you have to understand that, eternal life in the kingdom only belongs to the nation of Israel. Verse 26. Because you got to think, if the heathen are still going to be, they're going to follow the laws, but they're not going to be perfect like the Israelites. We're going to keep the laws to perfection. They're going to be going off because they're not going to be eternal beings like us. So they're going to still have fault in them. They're still going to sin. That's why we're going to enforce the laws, If they were all perfect, if even the heathen was perfect, then we wouldn't need the law. But we're going to have the laws because we're going to enforce the law. Like if you're a homosexual, you dare to be a homosexual in the kingdom? Well, what's the law say about that? It says that you need to be put to death. So those heathen, they'll still be trying to be wicked. But again, they'll live longer because they are going to be more righteous. Because why? Let's get Proverbs again. Proverbs 29:2, it says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Right, that's why the people are mourning right now, because the wicked Esau Edom is ruling. But when the righteous are in authority, the people are going to rejoice, and the people are going to live longer. The heathen are going to live longer, because the law brings life. All right. So you know, in this age, if you live to be 100, they say you lived a long life. In the kingdom, you heathen nations, you could live up to 600, 700, 800, 900 years, but you know you're still going to die because you're not an Israelite. But you're going to live a much better life, much more prosperous life, because you're keeping the laws. We're going to be enforcing the laws in the kingdom. Ezekiel 37 and 26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. This is why, you know, he says he's going to multiply the Israelites, right? So because we're going to be such a great number, we're going to be multiplied so greatly, this is why we're going to have different mansions to dwell on, meaning different planets, right? That's why Yahawah spoke about different planets, John 14:2. Yahawah said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you." So remember, we're going to multiply. So we're going to have so many kids, so many children. That we're going to need to dwell on other planets. Let's get that real quick, because this is why we're going to need, because remember, he says he's going to multiply us. Isaiah 60:22. It says, the bottom of your screen, "A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahawah, will hasten it in his time." Meaning the little one are the servants, right? And a small one, a strong nation. So that's just one person, meaning one Israelite man is going to have a strong nation of children. You know, you're going to have so many children that you're going to need those mansions that Yahawah spoke of, because you're not going to be able to populate, fit all the population of especially the Israelites on the planet Earth. That's why we have right here many mansions, he says. "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." You got to remember, Yahawah tells us in the scriptures that the earth is his footstool. So if the earth's only a footstool, then how big is his house? It's the galaxies, right? All the galaxies, all the planets, and even Esau Edom's scientists, they tell you that that the galaxies are constantly, like they're infinite and they're growing in number. You see? So we're gonna have a great blessing, brothers, if we keep. That's why we keep our hand on the plow. We keep enduring, because Lord's will, I'm in that number. Hey, if we're of the elect, especially if we're of that 144K, those prophets, then we're gonna have. I mean, we just read it. A little one is gonna have 1,000 children, and a strong one is gonna, and a, or how was it? Salakia. And a small one, a strong nation. So you're gonna have a nation of children, man. And if you're one of the Lord's prophets, man, you're gonna have many nations. You know, Abraham, they call him the father of all nations. Well, if he's on earth and he was able to perform, Yahawah performed that through Abraham, how much more in the heavenly beings, when we have our celestial bodies or eternal bodies, how much more are we going to be blessed with children and whatnot? Let's get back to Ezekiel 37 and 27. My tabernacle also shall be with them, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. Right? And this is the beginning of the sanctuary. This is the beginning of the tabernacle. This is the Lord's prophets. Those two sticks being joined together. See, so it's already really started. The kingdom is already started, right? Spiritually. Because right now we're in the midst of the heathen, and we're Yahweh's sanctuary. We're Yahweh's church, his men. So it's going to be a forevermore type of deal once it's extended to the kingdom, once we're delivered. See? And the heathen's going to know what's up, right? They already know what's up in their spirit. They see us, they see us out on the street corners, and they're like, they get frightened. They don't like to see so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans standing up on our feet. Let me see if I can get the outclose on that. Revelation 11:11, it says, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And if I would have read the beginning of Ezekiel 37, that's what it talks about, the Spirit of Yahawah entering into the nation of Israel, and more specifically the Lord's prophets. But it says, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Right? Oh, you know what? Let me just read this, because this is pretty much, verse 12 is the one that tells you that the elect, the prophets, are going to go up in that one chariot. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Beheld means observed. So we're going to go up in that fathership, in that cloud, and our enemies are going to observe us going up in that chariot. Right? Because remember, the cloud is the chariot. I'll close on that. Psalm 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. And that's the main point, so I'll stop there. But that's what it is, brothers. We just got to be patient and endure. Keep enduring. Keep being patient. And the Lord is going to perform all these things for us. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out on that. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, Wenek Nazar Akyam, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect.